Welcome to First Arriving Agency Admin Training. It's great to be with you today, and we're going to educate you on how this platform works over the course of this training, and we're going to walk you through everything you need to confidently manage your organization's First Arriving platform. Whether you're brand new to the platform or looking for a deeper understanding of the tools available to you as an administrator, this training is built specifically for you. As an agency admin, you have access to two distinct areas of the platform. The admin panel, where you manage the back end of your organization's account, and the user account view, which is the same content experience your members will see day in and day out. And we'll cover both, and you'll understand exactly when and why you would use each one. Now you'll see there is a lot for us to cover. We're going to cover everything from getting started, accessing passwords, resets, all that, all the way up to how to contact, when to contact our support team, and specific items related to our mobile app. We'll move through each section in a very logical order. So by the end of this training, you'll have a complete picture of how your platform operates and how to get the most out of your organization. So let's get started. And the best place to start is at the beginning. So let's start talking about logging in. All users, including agency admins, access the First Arriving platform through a single unified login page. The URL is, as you see on the screen, portal number 2, I should say numeral 2, .firstarrivingdigital.com. And we recommend that you bookmark this address, and we'll talk about bookmarking a little bit later. Now, we recommend that you use Chrome. However, know that you can use Edge, Safari, and Firefox and others, but we do highly recommend using Chrome. And if you use two-factor authentication, if your organization has that set up and requires that, simply follow the prompts when you log in. If you don't have that set up yet as an agency admin, you might want to think about recommending that to your department and adding the two-factor authentication for security purposes. When you go to that URL in a modern day browser, you're going to see a screen similar to this one. And on your first ever login, you won't have a password set. So what you'll do is enter your username, which is your email address, your work or organization email, in that top box. And then since you don't have a password yet, you're going to go down and you're going to click on the forgot password. That's going to take you to another screen. You'll enter your email. You'll select a personal and private password. That will be emailed, or when you go to that URL, you will end up at a screen like this. And on your first ever login, you won't have a password set yet. So what you're going to do is you're going to simply enter your email address in that top box. Then you're going to go to the forgot password link down there in the middle of that field. That will email you a link. So you'll receive a reset link in your email. If you don't see that within a minute or two, check your spam or junk folders in case it didn't arrive in your proper inbox. Once you get to that, it'll prompt you to pick a secure and personalized email address, or a password rather, and set that up, and then return to the login screen and enter your email address, the new secure password, and hit login, and it should bring you to a screen that looks like this. Now, once you're logged in, it's important to understand that you are an agency admin, and your experience as a user and an admin are nested together in the platform. The user account view is the same content that is fed to your members. So everybody sees that same content on the account user side. It shows announcements, events, documents, and other content targeted to your personnel. Your agency admin panel controls are built into your master menu. So to access the admin controls, you're going to go to the agency admin up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. And you're going to click on the agency admin dropdown. That's going to extend the menu to provide you access to the admin functionality within your user access. So that'll give you access to categories, devices, groups, login history, messages, resources, slides, users, and videos. So this is where you are going to manage the users, the dashboard devices, the content, the groups, and all of that other backend stuff for your organization. Again, it's nested in with your user end interface as well. Now, as an agency admin, you are going to be the first point of contact for when people have issues. So know that everybody gets routed to the same place, and this is one connected experience for you, the user account side and the admin side. But this is where also you're going to come in and be the admin and provide support to other people within your organization. So I just want to cut into think of it as one connected experience within the platform. The user account side is where information is viewed and consumed, while the admin panel is where content settings and users are managed. So as an administrator, you'll naturally move between both areas throughout the day, depending on the tasks that you have at hand. One thing that's also worth noting is the system automatically routes users to the correct experience based on your organization's configurations and their permission settings. So there's no guesswork on your part or their part. The system handles all that for you. Now, being an admin user, you are going to be one of the people that people come to with their problems. And I want to touch on a few of the most common items that you're going to deal with. Number one is an incorrect password. This is the most common issue that you will deal with as an admin user. People can obviously go to the forgot password link like you did, and they will have to do that as a brand new user as well. So they're going to be familiar with that. The problem is if they try too many times before going to that, it'll lock them out. So they might have to wait 10 or 15 minutes to do that. But the training is if you try to log in, you get an inappropriate login screen, or you get an error message. Hit the forgot password, reset your password, try it again. 9 times out of 10, that takes care of the problem. Now, the other issue that you will run into as an admin user is no user access. So if a user gets an invalid user message, verify in your admin panel by going to the user section, number one, that their account exists and that their email address matches exactly to what they're logging in with, and that their account isn't disabled. Make sure that they haven't been disabled for some reason, had permissions removed, and that's what's keeping them from getting access. Also note that a single misplaced character in an email address is often the culprit. And remember that spaces are characters to a computer. So if you were copying, pasting, or somebody else were copying, pasting email addresses in as you're setting up users, every now and then somebody will inadvertently copy a space at the end of that email address. So double check that just to make sure that there isn't a space or some errant character in there that's causing the problem. The other one is when people have access issues with the mobile app. It's another one where people are going to come to you for assistance. The best ways to approach those when they're having access issues is, number one, to close and reopen the app. If that still doesn't let them in, restart the device and then go back into the app. If that doesn't work, double check the email address that they're using to log in with against what you have in their user account. And then if that still doesn't work, if everything matches up email-wise, have them try to log in as a desktop user, so using the browser or even on their phone. If they're not near a desktop or a laptop, they can go into the browser of their smartphone and enter the same information, the same login, go to the URL, enter their username and password, and see if they can log in that way. That way it determines whether it's an issue with the platform itself or just with the app. And if it is a problem with the app, if they're able to log into the platform through the browser, but not through the app, then maybe go back to the App Store or the Apple App Store or Google Play, wherever they got the app from, and make sure that they have the most current version, or maybe even uninstall and reinstall just to make sure that there isn't something that's glitching in the app itself. If somebody does get locked out of their account, typically that's because they made too many attempts and they kept getting error messages when they're using their username password and it kept saying that it was an error and they didn't jump right to the reset password. If that happens, again, there's usually a 10 to 15 minute wait as a cooldown period for safety reasons, for security. Or if they reach out to you or another admin user, you can go back into their account and you can reset their password manually. They can log in, remind them if they do that once they're done doing their business to log out, go back to the login screen and use the forgot password option to reset their password to something that you don't know. So it's secure and personal to them. Now, if your fellow admin user gets locked out, then you want to double check their email address, make sure that that is accurate. Again, remembering spaces are characters to a computer. And also confirm that their permission settings are right. Make sure that somebody didn't remove them from, a station or a view or some other permission in the permission settings. An admin user should just have the admin user box checked. Once you check that, it'll provide all the other permissions and it'll show you what those permissions are. But those are the two things to check if your fellow admin user is getting locked out. Also highly recommend the use of bookmark. So bookmark the URL on whatever devices you're accessing it through, whether it be your desktop, a laptop, or your mobile device. On the app, put it on your home screen. Single tap gets you right in. Not a whole lot of work to get into it. It's right there at your fingertips, literally. On a shared workstation, a lot of departments have shared workstations. Make sure you set up a bookmark in the browser or a desktop shortcut so that all your people, regardless of who it is, when they sit down at that device, they log in with their user information. There's that browser bookmark or that desktop shortcut that jumps them right into the first arriving portal. And again, it takes them to the portal. They would then have to access through their username and password to get to their user interface and to their account. But it's a great way just to jump people to the URL and make it really easy to access for everybody. And that is how you access the platform.